Hello everyone, my name is Miss Moore.
And I'm Miss Cabot.
And we are super excited to teach you our first activity today. And Miss Cabot is going to introduce us.
So we're going to do Pizza Cat, or decorating a cat for Halloween. We picked this because we know you guys like Pizza Cat. We are going to use materials of colored pencils, markers, crayons, and glue sticks. And we're going to read the book, Pete the Cat, Trick or Pete.
We're going to start today off by reading a book called Pete the Cat, Trick or Pete by James Dean. It's Halloween. Pete the Cat is excited to go trick-or-treating. It's in his superhero costume.
I hope nothing too spooky happens, says Pete.
Don't worry, says Pete's dad. We have our flashlights. Let's go trick-or-treating, says Pete.
Pete and his dad walk outside. Whoosh! The wind rustles the leaves. Pete sees something moving in the tree. It's just an owl. That wasn't too spooky, says Pete.
They arrive at a neighbor's house. Pete rings the bell. He hears a strange sound coming to the door. It's just Callie, says Pete. She's not too spooky.
Callie joins Pete and his dad trick-or-treating. At the next house, there is something in the yard. Phew, it's just a scarecrow, says Pete. That's not too spooky.
Pete rings the doorbell. Trick or treat, says Pete and Callie. Happy Halloween. Awesome costume, says Pete. Very spooky, but not too spooky. Thank you, says Miss Gold, the crossing guard.
At the next house, there is something glowing on the steps. Cool, says Pete. Jack-o'-lanterns.
Callie rings the doorbell. Trick or treat, says Pete and Callie. It's Pete's teacher. One piece of candy each, she says.
Suddenly they hear something behind them. What was that? Asks Callie. Oh, it's just our friend Emma, says Pete. Not spooky, but groovy.
One last house, and then we'll go home, says Pete's dad. Pete rings the bell. Ding dong. Yikes, it's a spooky ghost, screams Pete. Don't be silly, Pete. It's just me, says Grandma. Callie and Pete get treats and hugs.
Trick-or-treating wasn't too spooky at all. It was actually full of sweet surprises.
Happy Halloween! And that is the end of the book. We hope you guys enjoyed it, and we're going to go on to our next thing now. So we really hope you guys loved the Pete the Cat Trick or Pete book. We hope it's really inspiring and that you guys really take something from it for this activity. So I'm going to be talking about the materials and the importance of them. So you guys can use any coloring materials, crayons, markers, or colored pencils, but we really wanted to show you the safety of them and keeping them nice. So just like Superman needs his cape, this cap needs its cap, or this marker needs its cap. So if we're using a brown marker to create fur and we've made lines and we've colored and we are super excited about creating this cat and we're done, we can't just leave this sitting out on our desk and letting it dry out, because then we can't use this marker. So make sure that we put the cap on and we hear that click. That's very important. So make sure if you're using markers to do that. And then with crayons, this crayon's very pointy And so I don't need to rip any of the paper off. I don't need to break it. Just make sure that this is very nice, and if you need to put the paper back down, you can. Just make sure that this isn't all the way down to the bottom before doing so. And then just as a firefighter needs his hard hat when he's out on duty, this guy also needs his cap on when he's out on duty too. Only use this when you're going to be using it, because if you have the cap on and you leave it out, it's going to dry up, and then the glue stick is not going to be as sticky as you might want it to be. So, and then next time someone uses it, it's not going to be as great for them as it was for you. And we want to make sure that our materials stay nice. So remember to put that cap back on and to keep your materials nice. And just a little tip for starting this lesson, since this is the first time we've ever gotten to do something with you guys, to tap into previous knowledge on lines, color, shape, form, and overlapping. And so now we're going to get started.
Hi guys, this is Miss Cabin. Today we're going to go over our vocabulary sheet for the cat trick-or-treat activity. So first we have pop art, which is the art based on modern pop culture and mass media based on fine values. Then we have line, which is a mark used by a pencil or marker or your own hand that is greater length than width. This can be horizontal, vertical, zigzag, curved, thick, or thin. Then we have shape. Shape is like a line but connects, creating a form. This can be geometric or organic. One could reference this to a building or the outline of a tree branch. And then we have crayons and markers. This is a type of material that can be done by using colored utensil on a piece of paper. Color, this is the value of objects that reflect off the sunlight. There are primary, secondary, and tertiary, which can either create intensity or dullness. Holiday, a day of festivity or recreation. Positive refers to the main focus of the picture, while negative space refers to the background. Juxtaposition, the two concepts being compared side by side to compare and contrast two different elements. Negative is the space around the object of the image. Composition is the placement or arrangement of the visual elements such as figures or trees. Primary color, which is red, yellow, and blue. Secondary color, made by primary colors violet, orange, and green. And tertiary colors, made by primary and secondary orange, red, red, violet, and orange, yellow, orange.